This is BamaCentral's Instant Analysis. Alabama basketball defeats Indiana State 102-80 right here in Coleman Coliseum to have their second night of the college basketball season. Alabama has three scores go over 20 points. So Blake Byler and Will Miller alongside Joe Gaither right here. Blake, what is the biggest takeaway from night number 2 of NATO to year number 5?
I mean, you kind of mentioned it. I think the biggest thing is just how dangerous this offense can be. You said it yourself, 3 scores over 20 points. Aaron Estrada had 27. He had 22 of those in the first half. NATO said then Indiana State goes and takes their best defender, puts him on Aaron Estrada, and Mark Sears goes for 17 in the second half. So just there's so many guys on this offense that can contribute, and so many guys where it makes it difficult to key in on one guy because you have Sears, you have Nelson, you have Reitzel, who had a pretty decent game. You have Jaron Stevenson. You have so many guys on this offense that can show up and have a big game and that can score in spurts and make it really difficult for the other team to catch up. I mean, Alabama, I didn't think played a very good defensive game, and Oates said that in his press conference, but Alabama still beat them by over 20 points because they scored 100 in their second straight game. Alabama hasn't opened with 200-point games since the 1964-65 season is what we read. So that just goes to show you how lethal this Alabama offense can be. And as they continue to gel, it can honestly turn into one of the best offenses in the country.
Will Miller, one of the best offenses in the country. Alabama just lost Brandon Miller, Noah Clowney, and others. But what do you make of night number 2 with Grant Nelson and Aaron Estrada and them boys?
Well, it's hard to be mad at scoring 100-plus points your first 2 games, and I think first and foremost, that's the one thing that you're most happy about because it's difficult to be proficient when you're replacing those names like Joe was mentioning. Aaron Estrada stood out. He was absolutely electric, especially in the first half. One of these transfers on this team, and Grant Nelson continues to move and do things in ways that someone his size should not be able to do. The athleticism is absolutely off the charts. So I think that there are obviously areas to improve, like Coach Oates said, with the defense and other areas in relation to that. But largely, you can be encouraged through this first week of the season.
For sure.
Absolutely can be encouraged. The guys are behind us working on free throws, and they'll be back in action on Tuesday against South Alabama. We'll be all over it for BamaCentral. This was Instant Analysis. This is BamaCentral's